Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Monday briefing, which covers the Christmas holidays. And we actually, there's been a lot of hype over the last week or so. People are very anxious and nervous and excited about what the what the Christmas and holiday days are going to look like leading up to it. I know there's a lot of social media chatter and graphics showing a lot of snow across the area. So we will discuss that. It has been certainly a challenging forecast the last couple of days and watching the model trends. And but what we're going to look at is starting today. Most people the last few days has been very chilly, and that's going to be the main theme here. We will warm up briefly on Thursday, but for the most part, we're looking at temperatures below normal through the period. And we start out today, the main focus for a lot of cloud cover coming in this afternoon and this evening is going to be this front that's down to our south. And we're going to see a couple of what we call upper level disturbances passing west to east right along that front. And so we'll see increasing clouds throughout the day, and then into the evening and tonight. And then on Tuesday, you kind of see it here in this graphic in the top right here. There's a little bit of light green showing up as we get into the day on Tuesday, especially Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. Some of the models are showing southern portions of our area on the northern periphery of a very light precip shield. And if you look really close in this graphic, you can see a little bit of blues, and and I'll have a better graphic here to show you in the next couple slides. But a little bit of blue there, and some other colors, some pinks that would suggest potential for some very light wintry mix. And that's going to be Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. That system and this low pressure, all the way, you can see how far south it is. I mean, it's down in the Gulf of Mexico and well down across southern Florida. So you can see, we're not expecting a whole lot of measurable precip as that comes through. And a good portions of the model data that we look at are showing it dry. But we definitely could have some light precip going across that area Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. But our really high impactful weather day is going to be on Thursday and into the day on Friday. That low pressure system that's down there across near Florida, it's going to kind of like sit and stall out, and then it's going to wait for another strong system diving south out of the northern plains. And as it does, this low pressure system, you can see here, is going to lift north along the southeast U.S. coast. And so we're going to see precip fill in late Wednesday night into the day on Thursday as that low pressure system tracks up the North Carolina coast. Right now, early precip amounts look to be 1 to 2 inches. So it's going to be a very wet day on Thursday. Then we're expecting a brief period of dry conditions Thursday night. And as you can see, if you look here to our west over the Central Plains, here's that cold Arctic air that we've been talking about for at least about a week to 2 weeks now, coming in. And that's going to move through on Friday. And as that moves through, that leading edge of that cold Arctic air is going to bring us two things. And we think that the most impactful thing is going to be strong winds initially. And so we're looking at 35 to 40. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some 45 mile per hour gusts at some point Friday afternoon or Friday during the day. The timing of that exact arrival of the Arctic front's a little bit in question. Some models are faster, some are slower, but we're expecting some very strong winds ahead and behind, especially behind that Arctic front. There's also going to be potential to have some scattered rain showers along that front. Moisture is going to be drying out, and it's going to be our classic case of the cold air coming in behind that cold front and catching up with that moisture and possibly seeing some rain in as a few wet snowflakes. So the probabilities of seeing measurable snow have really just decreased, and I'll show you a graphic that shows that too later. And then as we get into the holiday weekend, you can see this large area of high pressure that's over Texas. And that's going to bring us temperatures over the weekend averaging 15 to 20 degrees below normal. Highs are going to be in the 30s to low 40s. And at night, we're going to see temperatures dropping down into the teens and low 20s. And when you factor in that strong wind on Friday, we're going to see wind chills down into the single digits on Friday night. So between the wind Friday afternoon and those very cold wind chills Friday night and the cold air lingering into the weekend, those are expected to be the main hazards and impacts over the next week. Here real quick is our rundown of our rain chances. So you can see today we're going to remain dry, and then as you get into Tuesday, you start seeing that the light shading across our southern portions of North Carolina. That's going to be late in the day. So you're talking about late Tuesday evening into Tuesday night. And then on Wednesday, there's come the rain with that coastal low pressure system, and then our wet day in the bottom left being on Thursday. And then on Friday, seeing again some very light shadings of green. So we're going to see some slight chance or small chances of some light precipitation with that Arctic cold front coming in. And overall, we're looking at 1 to 2 inches of rain over the next 5 days. And that's going to help our drought conditions, which I'll show you that too as we get later on in the presentation. Now, here's the timing, and here's kind of like one of the, I'm going to call it one of the weather model solutions for Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning. This time frame starts at about 5 or 6 p.m. in the evening. So you could see that we're going to have some light returns, and the green denoted here is all liquid or rain. And then as you get into the blues and you get into some of the pinks, you're seeing basically a wintry mix of snow, sleet, possibly even a little bit of freezing rain, but it probably mostly snow or sleet. Again, this is one of our wettest solutions. A lot of the models are suppressing that precip down to our south. But a couple of things I want you to note is look where it does show the potential for some mixed precip. It's very brief, it's very patchy, and it's very light. Okay, so we are not expecting any accumulations. We do know that the timing, early Wednesday morning could be when school systems and buses are starting to get on the roads. So we just want to really highlight this because I think it's the last day of school for many school districts. Now, I mentioned earlier that the snow chances has really decreased, and what we're seeing right here, we're calling this the winter weather outlook for the next several days. This is the probability for 1 inch of snow through the entire 7-day period. And for us, it would be during that Friday period. And you can see here that when we take 100 models, it's called an ensemble model, and there's 100 different simulations in that model. We run it, and only 3 to 5 models are showing the chance of reaching 1 inch of snow. And that's across our extreme far northern portions of the triad. So you can see it is indeed a very, very low chance. Some of the other hazards we were expecting, and I wanted to show you this. This is our expected wind gust on Friday. Notice if we look at the 7-day hazardous weather risk, there's our chance on Friday. So anything outdoors is not tied down. We could certainly see those blown around on Friday. As we look at additional threats, here's the excessive cold. You can see it centered over Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Again, that's going to be the coldest period is going to be that Friday night and Saturday with wind chills down into the single digits. So again, you're going to make sure that if checking on friends and neighbors, if they may be susceptible to cold temperatures, you're going to make sure you want to check on them. You want to keep in mind of our pets as well, because on average, I think we probably see somewhere about 2 to 3 nights where we have wind chills per year when it's this cold. So it is definitely excessive cold and it will pose a threat and risk. Looking at the excessive rainfall outlook, this does not take into effect for Thursday's rain. So right now we don't have any threat for flooding. I wouldn't imagine we're going to see much on Thursday as well. As you can see here, here's our drought graphic and our current drought conditions. Well, where we're expecting the 2 inches of rain is where we really need it. So we've got very dry soils, and we expect the soils to be able to handle that. So whatever, as we get closer to that excessive rain outlook, I think things will be pretty limited across our area due to the continued drought. Here's the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. You can see that right now it's looking average. So average temperatures during that period, that second week period. So that cold, we're basically going to probably be seeing, the end of it as we get into the last few days of 2022 in December. And then looks like, for the most part, there's still going to be some decent rain chances as we get in that week 2 period. So hopefully we'll continue to put a dent in those drought conditions. All right, overall, real quick, the weather summary, again, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, we could see some light precipitation clipping those southern portions of North Carolina. Should be mostly rain, but might see a light wintry mix because temperatures will be right around freezing in some of those locations as you get just north there in like the Sandhills and southern Piedmont. A coastal low tracking up our coast on Thursday is going to bring us a good soaking of 1 to 2 inches. That should be all rain. And then Arctic cold front is going to come in Friday, and it's going to do two things: bring us some strong winds, and it's going to bring very chilly temperatures and excessive cold Friday night and into the weekend. And we might see a few wet snowflakes before that rain gets out of here on Friday with that Arctic cold front.